That's the fun.
True. That's the truth.
So I'm just gonna send a tweet out and tell people to come join us, whether or not we're live. I believe we're supposed to be.
Isn't Erin joining us?
Hi.
She is.
I'm here already.
She hasn't added me still.
To what?
Steam.
Oh yeah, that's because I haven't been on it in a while.
No, I'm talking about Twinstiq, the Razorcom. I sent you an invite.
Oh, she's sitting in the same room with me.
I'm sitting next to Cody.
Okay.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah, her computer is still in storage somewhere.
Yeah, but you gotta get that shit out of there because Windows 10 is not going to be free very much longer.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, Internet, just so you know, Windows 10 is not going to be free for very much longer.
Are we recording?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
Dude!
Less than 5 days.
That's how we intros. I gotta test it somehow. You know how this works. We are 50 shades of unprofessional. We have never been professional. We tried being professional once. You know what happened? You remember what happened, Gray? When we tried to do a little professional little intro and shit? The whole thing broke.
Remember.
The entire day broke. The
whole thing broke. That
That
podcast started up. We got through half of the podcast, and the whole podcast just fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had to reassemble the podcast and start.
So we just hit start streaming, and then we hope it works, and then it works, and then we go, oh look, cool, we're on the internet.
How about the one where Dr. S decided to join us halfway through and just hung up on everyone and just stopped the whole thing?
Yeah,
Right.
that was great.
That one was great too.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Twinstiq podcast, everybody. With us today, we have Grey Wolf, as always. Say hello, Grey Wolf.
Folks. Hi there.
We have Jason Screwloose.
What's up, everybody?
We've got our new recruit, True Legend Killer, entering the ring.
Wubba lubba dub dub!
And we have my fiance,
Yay!
Ferrari.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
Yay. What are we talking about today, George? I mean, we're going to still talk about games and stuff, too, but something happened this week.
Comic-Con 2016.
Fuck yeah.
That's how it's spelled. Comic-Con!
Yeah, it's spelled Comic, K-H-A-N.
Yeah.
Comic-Con! So yeah, we're going to talk about some games we've been playing, and then there's not too much in the wake of gaming news, so we're going to talk about all the news that came out of Comic-Con! Comic-Con!
Oh yeah, that's already
Rest in
annoying.
peace, all the headphone users.
And then if we get through that fast enough, we may eventually get to the topic we've been trying to get to for a long
For like
time.
a month now, a month and a half.
And we probably still won't get to it today. So we won't even say what it is until we get to it. But for now,
We should just do a special podcast just for that.
it's true. It might take an hour or so to talk about that subject. But first, let's talk about what games we've been playing. Everybody here, except for Erin, because she's lame, is part of the Twinstiq Game Club.
Sorry, I have better things to do than play.
To play Ghostbusters?
2009 video games.
But it's so good.
What?
Yeah, guys, weird. I know. But shooters just do not interest me in any way.
Don't worry, you and I both.
We can play something else, Grey Wolf, and it'll be an exclusive club, and only we're invited, and we're gonna play good games like
Twinstiq
Baldur's
Game
Gate.
Club for gamers who don't like shooters.
Baldur's
There
Gate
you
is
go.
way too long
We
for
can
the
play
Game Club.
right.
We thought
We
Ghostbusters
can
would
play
last
like
long, 2 or 3
Baldur's
weeks.
Gate and like Icewind Dale.
There we go. I'm on board with this plan.
See?
Those are also like 40+ hour games.
Well, that's
It
fine.
it will take us years to get
Oh
through
yeah,
one
no,
game.
we'll never finish.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway,
Okay, Lost Wolf, why don't you start us off?
yeah, what have you been playing, Gray?
Okay, so I've had stuff intervene like real life, so I haven't been playing a lot. I've been playing a Blind Legend, which I talked about a little bit before the stream started. A Blind Legend is interesting. It has flaws. They can be fixed though, and I hope that Dev gets a second attempt at making a game. We I'm migrating to Windows 10, so that's part of the reason why I'm doing that.
Do you want to explain to people what Blind Legend is? I think you may have done it on the podcast once before.
Sure. A blind legend is an interesting idea where they take away all the visuals. There are no visuals. There are only audio cues. And you follow a woman around who tells you go left, go right, do this, do that. And it's an interesting game. It has execution issues. For example, she's not as fine-tuned as you'd like her to be. Like I was telling folks before the podcast started, that you can walk yourself off of a cliff and she'll watch you, quite casually, watch you, and you'll be like, walk, 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 walk. And instead of saying, hey, you know what, you're near the edge of the cliff now, you should probably turn around, she'll let you walk off the edge and go, and fall to your doom and die.
Or at least say, like, hey, there might be a cliff over there somewhere, so be careful.
Yeah, right, you might want to turn around. And then when she tells you to turn around, she doesn't tell you how far.
She sounds like a shitty friend.
She's your daughter, actually.
Well, she sounds like a shitty person also.
Well, he's not a nice guy either. There's been points where he's like, he slapped his daughter for like no reason.
Well, good. Then no wonder she let him walk off a cliff.
So wait a minute.
This sounds like a charming game.
Yes.
The thing I'm getting here is that he has good enough senses to slap his daughter, but not good enough senses to walk.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Priorities, I guess.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your pimp hand strong.
He's slapped his daughter more than he's gone for a stroll in his life, is what that means.
He's only actually ever slapped her once. But
Okay.
it was sort of, I could kind of understand it, but it was so terrible that I was just like, I am giving this game 3 chances, and if it does 2 more things like this, I'm not playing this game anymore. Because it wasn't, I mean, I can understand the situation that they're in, and they're running away, and they have to, time is of the essence, and they have to be very, like, worried about what's happening around them. But there are good ways to treat a situation, and there are bad ways to treat a situation. And unfortunately, this developer wrote this as a situation where they were going to use this moment to get across his character as he's very forceful. And unfortunately, that meant he slapped his daughter. And I was like, no, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It just felt in poor taste.
So it's the whole Hank Pym slapping Janet Van Dyne from the comic books all over again.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Not as bad as that, because there's visuals in a comic book, George.
I started up a game of Quest for Glory 3, which I haven't picked up yet because I have been dealing with Windows 10 and doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in playing it to see if I still like it, because 3 is the game where they go from type commands, everything is typed, to a pure menu and cursor-driven game. And I don't know if it's going to suffer for that. I know the combat will be a little bit better, but not much. But I'm going to be playing a wizard through that, because the wizard has the best quest line. He gets to make a staff, which is great, because the staff basically gives him unlimited magic. So when you hit the end of the game, there's a big fight, and the problem with the big fight is if you haven't made the staff and you're relying on magic, you will run out. So looking forward to that. The other thing I started off playing is The Longest Journey. The problem with The Longest Journey is that it has... it was built in the late 90s. It uses Bink as its rendering tool for the videos, and the net result of that is that Bink isn't very well optimized for modern operating systems. So when you go into a movie, the first thing that happens is the movie plays, and at the end it will crash the game.
That's fun.
So what
is that on Steam or is that on GOG?
I'm playing the GOG version.
I'm assuming there's probably some old programs you have to run to get it to run properly that GOG installs.
No, it's just you run the exe on, off you go.
Oh, cool. So it should work through Steam just fine then.
Okay.
They've done some compatibility settings though, because they've set it so that it behaves like it's a Windows 98 program, or Windows XP program with.
Oh. Yeah, so they probably
like
have it. They probably have it set to run as a Windows XP executable.
They have it set to run in a way that they think is going to make it work, but lots of people have complained about this particular game even on GOG.
Oh, wow.
This is not GOG's fault. This is just the way that the game is built.
Well, I know The Longest Journey and Dreamfall, its sequel, has a very big following.
They do. Because the world and the setting that he built there was so good that people want to see what happens next. I have issues with him and I have issues with his characters, but I like the world. And that is what I'm interested in going back.
I had never even heard of these games until George added them to his Steam wish list last night. And I was like, I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, I'm looking at gameplay here. The world and characters look pretty interesting. So
it is. So the idea behind especially The Longest Journey, since I'm playing that now, so I may as well talk about it, is that there's this girl, April Ryan, who discovers that there are two worlds. There's the world that she lives in, which is all modern and has technology. And then there's a world that is sort of alongside that, called Arcadia. They call them Stark and Arcadia. Arcadia is a place of magic and mystery. And she discovers through the game that she can shift between these two places. At first she can't do it at all, and then eventually she can. And she discovers that the balance between the two planes, Stark and Arcadia, is out of whack. And the whole narrative of the game is to put the balance back into some kind of order, so that the two planes can coexist again. And my big problem with April is that she's an angsty teenager, and she has a diary, so it comes across in the diary, and it's not fun. I understand why. Sorry?
She changes in the second game. So I started the series with the second game, which I guess takes place like a certain time after the first game, because April's a lot more mature.
It's about 10 years after the first game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to assume. Because I never knew that when I first encountered Dreamfall, The Longest Journey, I never knew it was a series. It was a game that my mother had picked up from me on, I think, Xbox 360.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I played through it and I loved it, but I always felt like I was missing some of the story.
You were.
And then I realized that it was a sequel, and I never got to play the original game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been on my wish list to like kind of go back, one day and replay both games, because I'm sure I'll like the sequel even more than I originally liked it once I know the full story.
Okay. Yeah. So my big problem with April in the second game is that April's really angry. There's a reason. There is actually an in-universe reason for that. But sustained anger like that for 10 years, you don't need to do that to yourself. So, his characters are interesting but problematic. But the universe that he's created is very interesting, and I love that. And I want to experience it again.
All right. Cool.
So there we go. That's what I'm
It
playing.
sounds like
I'm
a
also
really
I was playing Ghostbusters along with you guys, and then I died in the hotel on casual, which is terrible. So now I'm probably I'll try again, but I'll probably just watch, because I don't think I'm gonna be good enough. As the game gets harder and harder, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep pace. So
yeah, I'll just keep recording for you, and then you'll be able to have the option to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And that's me. That's what I've been playing.
Awesome.
Dope.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is talking.
No, we don't have initiative like you.
Yeah, that's right. I play to win.
I'm taking initiative later in the podcast.
All right.
Yeah, so I also, along with Game Club, have been playing the Ghostbusters 2009. It's been really fun. We talked about that a little bit in the Twinstiq Game Club recording that should be up later.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. It's cool. Recommended. I've also still kind of casually rolling through South Park Stick of Truth.
God, that's such a good game.
It is. It's really fun.
Hilarious.
I'm getting a little bit just like I'm over the combat. I don't need it anymore. It's boring.
Really?
Yeah. It's boring and I don't care about it anymore. But
it's very simplistic. for an
Yeah,
RPG.
Yeah, I guess you basically do just the same thing over and over with different attacks, basically. Yeah.
I don't know anything about the combat system.
It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy. It's a turn-based. Yeah, and it's all right. It's fun. It's still fun. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't need to be there anymore. I'm more having fun just like watching an extended
South Park episode. I don't know what happened there. Yeah. Where'd you go, Screw? It's a good thing I finished your sentence for you.
Uh-oh. We may have lost him.
Screw, you there?
Okay, I guess in the
why don't you tell us about what you're playing through, Legend?
Okay, well, I haven't been playing a lot. I've been, as school winds back up, I've been doing a lot of reading, trying to prepare for my first semester of teaching credential program.
Woo!
But, yeah, woo! On my way to becoming
congrats.
a teacher. But I have been playing, of course, I've been going through, as I'm leading you guys through Ghostbusters 09, I've been slowly replaying that. Sleeping Dogs, I've been getting into. I got it on sale for less than $5, and
Which is a great deal for that game.
it's really fun, and at night it's kind of cool to chill out before bed to play that.
Just drive around in Hong Kong and experience the city.
Yeah.
You get some pork buns yet?
Yeah, I did get some pork buns.
Yeah,
it made me want to have pork buns.
You don't want to have pork buns. They're disgusting.
They
I
are
like
not.
pork buns. I like Bao. You be quiet.
Bao is great. The only experience I've had with pork buns were from Sketch Asian Guy at Tony's.
Oh my gosh, Sketch Asian Guy. I forgot about him.
I never forget about Sketch Asian.
Screw, are you back?
Screw
No,
you
he's
back.
not back.
Lame.
He texted me and told me he was back.
No.
So I just want to...
Okay, anyways, so yeah, that's all I'm still, slowly going through The World Ends With You on my DS. But yeah, my mind was elsewhere this week because of Comic-Con.
Well, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit because
Yes, we
it's
will.
Comic-Con.
At great length.
Yeah. Aaron, have you been playing anything?
No. But if I was, it would probably be video games. I would probably.
What's that Futurama game that you're always fucking playing?
Oh yeah, no, I play horrible cell phone games at work a lot. So right now I've been playing the Futurama game called Futurama. That's what it's called. I've been playing Rolling Sky and also Legacy. They're really horrible cell phone games. I don't recommend any of them at all in any way.
Is it Game of Drones?
Yeah. But it's called Futurama. It's horrible games. I don't recommend any of them. When I do get the chance, though, every now and then, because I play stuff at work, so I've been playing through Divinity. Not now, because I've recently been moved to a new team and I don't have time anymore. But yeah, I play Divinity and stuff at work a lot.
You guys hear me now?
Yay! He's back.
I had to sign out and come back. I don't know. I got dropped, and then when I signed right back in, and I was talking, and nobody could hear me. So anyway, I'm back.
Powers that be weren't liking what you were saying.
Yeah, they flipped me right off.
Yeah, how dare you disregard South Park as being only good as an extended episode?
So if Aaron's done, I'll continue.
Yeah, I'm done. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, so so I was saying I'm having a good time with it. Any spot with Stick of Truth that involves Jimmy is the best.
Very good. Yeah. Jimmy is hilarious.
Jimmy's the best character in South Park, anyways. I was glad that.
Oh no,
he's
it's all about
in
Butters.
this.
It's all about Butters.
I do like Butters when he turns into Captain Chaos. It's like pretty amazing.
Professor Chaos.
Yeah, Professor Chaos. It's so awesome. I really love it. It's fun, and I'm still fighting, trying to record Doom.
It's such a bummer.
This last time it only crashed on the monitor capture, not the game capture, but the game capture won't work still. So I guess it's maybe like a half
That's so
step closer.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. And that's about it, really. I haven't been.
You
doing
should
a whole
just
lot of
buy
playing.
like a DSLR and just plop it in front of your monitor.
Yeah, just like bootleg record it. Yeah, yeah, it's just like a movie theater.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Let's Plays got started. People would like aim their cameras at the screen and then talk while they were
Yeah.
doing that.
It's true.
You should totally do that. It'd be like 2007 all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a year everybody wants to repeat.
Yep. Totally.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, that's me. That's all I've been playing. I haven't really been playing a whole lot. I've been kind of busy.
I haven't
I've been
really
trying to learn my unicycle. That's been pretty fun.
Me too.
Yeah, Aaron and I got unicycles. She got hers first, and I was like, dude, that looks super cool. I got to get one. And a friend of the family's like, oh, I got one. You can have it. I was like, sweet. So I got it.
That's awesome.
It's been cool.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, I haven't really been playing much either, just some Rocksmith here and there. One of these days I'll record some video from the Guitarcade. The problem with that is that everything you do in Rocksmith, it makes it so that it's exclusively can only be used by Rocksmith. So like, if I had something playing in the background or video or I don't know why you'd play music in the background while playing Rocksmith, but it wouldn't work because Rocksmith takes control of everything you have and doesn't let anything else use it.
It just wants you to focus on learning how to play the guitar.
I guess it's not.
Does it really teach you how to play the guitar though?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really play very well, but I can strum the strings now. So after about 10 or 15 hours of Rocksmith, and that's the only guitar lessons I've had. You heard me play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star earlier.
I heard you skinning a cat.
Yeah, that is my level of play.
Mary had a little star.
Mary had a little star.
Yeah.
Our cat really likes it. She really, really likes it.
Because she's not the cat getting skinned for once.
So he was playing last night, and Juju just slowly fell asleep.
Yeah, well, I was just doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star over and over again.
Oh, this reminds me of my days on the streets.
Our cat was abandoned, and we saved her. For anyone
Oh.
else.
That's true.
Just so people don't think we abandoned our cat on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that, and then some Overwatch here and there when I can get a game or two in, because that game is still fun. No competitive mode for me really anymore, because the one hero limit is the stupidest thing, even though everyone on the internet's like, yay, it's so great, they finally have a one hero limit. And I'm like,
that is the worst, because that
It's
was
great.
that
It's
was
great if you get your hero.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think it's dumb.
well,
It's
it's stupid when people are like, well, I'm playing Genji and I'm not going to swap ever, because that's also not the point of the game. But stacking isn't a problem. If there was a game the other day where there were 6 Torbjorns, so I swapped to a Widowmaker and killed them all. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
If you know how to defeat the heroes with a hero, then it shouldn't be an issue. So I don't get that. I don't understand why the competitive scene has been begging Blizzard for it, but they did it, and now it's boring to play competitive mode. But they did introduce a new hero, Anna, who is Farrah's mama, and she is super, super fun to play. She's a sniper who does damage over time and can't get headshots, which may sound weird, but she's also a support sniper, so you also want to aim at your teammates, and you can increase their health. And she can throw grenades down that prevent people from getting healed, which answers the problem that we've had with Roadhog for a while, where if Roadhog hits his self-heal, where he just drinks alcohol and heals himself, you can't do any damage to him, and he just sits there and heals himself. But now Anna can be like, no, you don't get to heal. It's great.
I added this in, and it's news. Overwatch, Anna. Gail still
There we
listen.
go.
Yeah, that's the news. She's fun to play. She plays far differently than any other heroes in the game, and she adds another support characters in this game, which is good because there were only 4 before.
There really hasn't been a whole lot of video gaming news in the last couple.
Well, we have a few other
we've been
minor
looking.
ones.
I have been looking for the last hour, and I haven't found very much of anything.
Yeah,
like, oh my
You
god!
know,
That's because Comic-Con happened, so
I would like to. I would like to mention this just because it was an interesting article I read the other day, and I shared it with Cody. Well, I think I put it in Slack.
Mm-hmm.
About Hexen.
Oh yeah.
And how they started God, I think it was Hexen 2. There was a mode in that, multiplayer mode in that called Siege, and it was a class shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're different characters with different classes and different abilities, and you ran around doing objectives. And I mean,
yeah, which
very
obviously would
good
become way more popular when TF2 took that same formula and really put it over the edge. But I think that is really cool to see how the roots went so far back. And I had never even heard of Hexen, and I played a lot of shooters at my
Hexen was good. Heretic, Hexen, I liked Hexen too. The first Hexen, I never could beat the first Hexen. Heretic wasn't that bad. Hexen, I never could. I couldn't do it. But even before that, the original Quake had a capture the flag mod that was all class based. There was a specific, like a sniper, and there was a medic that could run around and heal your teammates and everything else. And this was like awesome. 97 or 98, you know.
Yeah, that article was pretty cool.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, the article was cool because it also sent you the links to how to get it to run on a server with your friends and stuff, so you could all run around and try it out. It seemed like a little hard to set up, but it was still cool nonetheless.
So the other piece of news we have is I guess a new Sonic game is coming in spring of 2017.
There's actually 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 of them. It's just Sonic news. I mean, for people who care about Sonic, maybe that ship has sailed already.
And this may be what gets us flagged down in our video here is the Sonic the Hedgehog thing, because Sega's.
Well, then don't show it. If
it gets flagged down, I have the video being backed up on my computer, and I'll just block it out with a penis covering the CEO of Sega's face.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
So the thing
is more beneficial.
Sonic hasn't had a good game in years.
Sonic Generations is great. That came out like 3 years ago. Play it. It's great.
I
it's
played
on
some
Steam.
of that.
I was thinking Sonic and the Black Knight.
Okay.
I don't actually know what
I
that
have
is.
any idea what that even is.
Or is it called?
You don't need to know.
Okay.
It was that bad.
Is it installed?
I don't like any of the Sonic games, so I don't care.
What?
I don't. Yeah, I don't like any of them.
You're dumb.
You're
Sonic
dumb.
Generations. That's what it's called. Yeah, Sonic Generations is the same thing as Sonic Mania here, where you just play through a bunch of reimagined classics. So I don't understand what's the big deal about this one. It's the same thing as Sonic Generations. They're just selling it to you with a different name.
Yeah. That to me sounds kind of crappy. I do think that the Lego character looks maybe interesting.
Oh, I still have $8.
I didn't read a whole lot
money.
into that, but
Awesome.
So the other big news was that huge CS:GO.
Oh Jesus!
Valve stepping.
Okay. We want to.
No, I think it's important, and Valve stepped up, and
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, they're doing the minimum basically.
They're doing the as little as they can, and in as hands-off a manner as they can, because that's Valve.
Yeah, what's going to happen is that those sites will get shut down, which is fine, but then they'll move to a different area.
Yeah.
Valve needs to physically take the ability for you to sell skins away outside of game.
Well, I think it's horrible, and I think they need to step up because it's promoting underage gambling, basically.
Valve don't care.
Yeah.
Good luck, Valve don't care.
Well, I care.
I care, and I don't put it on Valve. Aside from them allowing people to trade skins outside of the game, which obviously is not working because people are exploiting it. If they don't want people to exploit it, they need to not make it a feature. I understand that they want people to be able to do with whatever they want, but I can't really hold Valve responsible for it. I'd imagine because if I go and buy a bunch of party hats at a party store, at a Dollar General, and then I say, hey, if you guys come and bet all your party hats with me, and then we can all put them in a pool, and then we can all go sell this giant load of party hats and exploit children that way. You're not going to go to the Dollar General and go, you know, there are people gambling with the products that you sold to these people, right?
Yeah, there's people making money off your product.
Yeah, it's not the seller's responsibility on my end. So I'm actually very surprised that Valve even sent them a cease and desist to the sites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did, because the sites shouldn't exist because they're terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of feels like basically what they did is say not for resale, you know, essentially. They just put that label on there. And
yep, and then it would make it illegal for people to resell them online.
Yeah.
What I think that they should do that, but I think that they should, I don't know how the skins work, just so that everyone knows. So I don't know if you can turn the skins into gems and other stuff. And if you can, that ability probably needs to go away as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I didn't play CSGO for that long because it wasn't quite like CS Source, which is far better game.
I just know if I was a parent and I had a child that was being...
If you are a parent and you have a child who's playing CSGO, you're being a bad parent. It is rated M for mature, and you shouldn't let your fucking child play a game where you run around and stab people. I'm sorry.
Well, that's true. But with that being said...
I know it happens, and it makes it really bad for these fucking idiots like this piece of shit right here, T. Martin. We're
not opinionated about this in any way, by the way. We have no emotional
and
opinions.
the thing that pisses me off is that these fuckers are going to get away with it because there's not going to be any parent who understands anything that's happening about it to explain it to a lawyer to get these people in jail. Which is what would happen if someone stepped up like that.
That's the problem though, is video games are still only for kids. Comic books are still only for kids, and that's why you have people who take their kids to go see things like the Deadpool movie, and people who allow their kids to play
they wouldn't make a comic book
Auto.
movie for adults. That's stupid. Comic book movies are for children. That's still how video games are seen. And so it becomes really awful when people look at something like this, where this video game that these awful parents are letting their children play is then exploiting them by showing how cool gambling is.
Yeah.
So I'm glad Valve's telling them to shut their site down, but they also need to restrict these items to the game and not the real world.
Yeah. There needs to be one more step at least. Yeah, something along the lines of saying that this is our product, and if you want to trade them, that's fine. Trade them through the game, not outside.
Yeah, and they
make money on our product.
It's weird that they I don't know if they have a gambling system inside of CS:GO, which I think would be fine because it's an M for mature game and it's items that you get in the game, and if you want to allow adults to gamble away skins in the game, that's fine. They do that in Dota. You can bet items on tournaments, and then you can get more items from if you bet on the winning team in a tournament. But obviously they need to do something like that for CS:GO because there's clearly a super high demand to gamble their skins in the real world, which is the problem.
To me, it's always crazy this idea of real money on something like a skin or whatever, in a video game.
Yeah, literally, it doesn't do anything for you.
Yep. All the skins I have in Dota right now have totaled up to a good $8.35 towards my next Steam purchase. So, thank you there.
All right, so.
Yeah. If you didn't know the story behind that, then go watch H3H3 Productions video Deception Lies in CS:GO because they'll explain it if you're lost and you're like, what are they yelling about? I don't know what's going on.
You can put that link at the bottom, like the description on
I will do it right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Before you move along, because I know you want to get here, we need to make one quick mention that the Game Club is running. You can join us. We're doing 3 weeks instead of 2 this time. We have done the first little bit of Ghostbusters 2009. We're at the end of the hotel, if that is where you want to play. we're going to do the next 3 segments, which will take you through the library,
so we're starting with Times Square, then you go to the library, and we will end after the Natural History Museum.
Right. So if you are joining us for that game, you need to stop there, please, because that is where we're taking
after you beat the History Museum.
Right.
Yeah.
The podcast for the game club will go up along with this, or just after this. So if you're interested in the podcast, then there you go.
Right. Yeah. It'll either be up tonight or tomorrow morning. Depends on how long it takes to render stuff.
So this is the hour where I sleep, because you're going to be talking about
Comic-Con!
You might have some opinions on some of these things, because not all of it's just nerding out.
No, so we're gonna...
All of it is nerding out, right? It's Comic-Con.
All of it is nerding out.
Which is totally fine.
But we're gonna start with probably a little bit more popular, is the Marvel segment, and we have a lot to cover, and hopefully we can get through it kind of fast. So I'm going to start us off with the Marvel TV sector. And the first really big news on this front came a few days ago with the announcement that the next season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will introduce none other than Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
This is not...
I'm still not going to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but whatever.
This is not the classic Ghost Rider, mind you. This is the newer one, the Robbie Reyes, who actually uses
written
a car.
Way better. But...
Oh, it's much better writing than Johnny Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be a really interesting thing to see come to the small screen. I kind of always thought Ghost Rider might get the Netflix treatment, and he still
That's
could,
kind of
I
what
guess.
I was really hoping for, because, I mean...
I like Ghost Rider.
He's probably just going to be like a 2 or 3 episode arc in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a show that not many people watch anymore. So.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to introduce him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If it gets great ratings, they may either bring him back later in the season, or they may actually talk about doing a Netflix series.
I would watch the shit out of a Ghost Rider series. So
yeah, I would and I wouldn't. I'd be cooler with like a mini series, like a 4-episode, 4-hour long mini arc.
No, I want
I can't see 2 or 3 seasons of 13 episodes of Ghost Rider.
Oh, I can. And it would be epic.
All right.
Yeah. either that or he's makes a guest appearance in Daredevil.
And I like Ghost Rider, but there's really not a whole lot to it.
I want a Black Panther series though too, and that's not gonna happen.
Well, there's a lot more history to that, so.
Yeah. I want
I
want so many things.
I wouldn't compare Black Panther to Ghost Rider ever.
So and also. I'll say before George continues, I actually like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. A lot of people think it's a really boring show, but this last season when they started doing stuff with the Inhumans a little more, I think it's been pretty intriguing.
The Inhumans just pisses me off because it's just Marvel getting rid of X-Men because they don't have the rights to them.
Well, what else are they going to do?
Not change their comics of 50 plus years of history just because they don't have any rights.
They don't get to do anything with it because somebody else owns the rights? No, they're taking over what is theirs.
Well, I'm okay with it in the show. It just reminds me that they're getting rid of it in comics. They're getting rid of they're clearly gonna just not have the X-Men in comics anymore.
They're not getting rid of the X-Men.
They're slowly working towards that.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. Since you're on the X-Men kick, their newest lineup of Marvel Comics has announced there is no coming X-Men titles.
Yeah.
So yes, the Inhumans are basically going to be wiping out 99% of the X-Men.
Yep.
With that being said, a lot of the X-Men are moving to other titles, are being revealed to not be mutants. This is to do with the whole fiasco of Fox owning the rights to mutants.
But the movies shouldn't influence the things they're based off of.
You guys do understand, though, that it's not going away. It's still there.
Yeah. No,
nobody's set fire to all of the X-Men comics. They still exist.
No.
So, with that being said, certain characters, Beast. Beast is now going to be a part of the actual Inhuman comics. Now, whether that means they're making him an Inhuman or he's still going to be a mutant, I'm not entirely sure yet. Cyclops is going to be a part... Young Cyclops, I should say.
Yeah.
Because old Cyclops is now killed. But anyways, young Cyclops is going to be a part of the younger Marvel lineup. I forget the name of that comic off the top of my head right now. Squirrel Girl was revealed not to have been a mutant or an Inhuman. So she kind of still has her own title going on. I know
she's
Anna Kendrick. Yeah, Anna Kendrick is vying for the role if they ever bring Squirrel Girl to the big screen.
Yeah, she said her brother looked like her. So,
but yeah, so X-Men. I mean, there's no new X-Men comics on the lineup. This by no means means every. Oh, and Storm is going to be appearing in Black Panther comics.
Yeah,
again,
which is good. That I'm stoked about.
That is good.
But so yeah, X-Men comics are ceasing for right now. Hopefully Fox and Marvel can make a deal, much like Sony and Marvel did with Spider-Man. Down the line, I know a lot of the actors want it. Hugh Jackman had a dream of appearing in an Avengers movie.
Hugh Jackman.
I know Wade Wilson. I know Ryan Reynolds is really vying for team up with Spider-Man.
Those names are interchangeable. Yeah, it's totally fine.
They are interchangeable. So yeah, but that's the news on at least the prime time shows. Over on the Netflix side of things, Daredevil season 3 was officially announced. I don't believe they announced a year, just that it's coming.
Yeah, which isn't a surprise because
it's done so well.
It is done really well.
I'm guessing it'll be either late 2017 or early 2018.
I'm guessing it's probably going to take place after the Defenders.
Yes, so. I do too. So they released a little snippet trailer of that, just a subway line and a number 3 appearing and whatnot. The next big thing on the Marvel front was we had the official announcement of Iron Fist and the first trailer.
Danny Rand!
Yep.
Yeah, Danny Rand is
looking pretty badass too.
Yeah, Danny Rand's coming. He needs a shave though. That
I mean, it's not going to stay around.
I wanted to. I dug it.
With that being said, I'm really intrigued by this. Like, I really want a good martial arts TV show. You know, I grew up watching things with my father, like Kung Fu and whatnot, and Iron Fist is going to be one of those shows
that was not a good martial arts TV show, by the way.
Hey, I like Kung Fu.
I like it. I like it too. I think it's great, but it is not a good martial arts TV show.
Okay. But, yeah, so I don't know if Yoda's going to be showing that trailer right now. It's not very long. It's like a minute.
No, I had a spotlight of just the generic Netflix thing, and now I've got the trailer.
Yeah.
So
I'm stoked about this.
Yeah, I am too. I think he looks great as Danny Rand. I'm just really excited to see what villain he's going to be fighting first. Really,
I am too.
We knew that Jessica Jones was going to do Kilgrave. We knew that Matt Murdock was going to be taking on the Kingpin. But they could go so many directions with Iron Fist. I'm very excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Iron Fist is going to be unique. It's going to open up an entirely new sector into this Marvel Netflix domain. But the thing is, too, I mean, Danny Rand has always been so closely tied to Luke Cage. So it's going to be weird to see him.
Who also got a trailer at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that comes next. But, you know, so it's going to be interesting to see Danny Rand trying to, like, hold his own for a series. I mean, maybe they'll pull in Luke Cage halfway through. I don't know.
I kind of feel like they'll have little guest like crossover episodes.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so.
I feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But speaking of Luke Cage, so the next big announcement was we had I guess an official release date, or and the first full trailer, I should say, for Luke Cage.
Yeah, it's not a teaser; it's an actual trailer.
Yeah, it's an actual trailer
of him stomping through fucking buildings and kicking ass with car doors. It's awesome.
Harlem is going to be torn to shreds. I am very much looking forward to this. I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of a this sounds weird saying out loud, but a respectful exploitation kind of film sort of thing, because that's Luke Cage's character. That's where he was developed from, is those
his blaxploitation films.
Films.
But it seems like they're taking that type of action and putting it in a more grounded world that they've created with these Netflix shows. So
exactly, and I think this series is something that is going to touch on a lot of real world issues right now with race and inequality in America right now. So this show may be kind of a godsend in some ways.
That's true.
I think it's a very powerful story in of its own. Luke Cage is a man that, a convict that signed up for experimentation so he could get released earlier, who, it changed him. It basically turned him into a superhero. Or not basically, it did. Unbreakable skin and super strength. And, he's always, like I mentioned before, really closely tied to Danny Rand and really closely tied to Jessica Jones that we saw on her own show. So I'm interested to see how they handle his show. That's coming really soon, I believe. It's at the end of this year.
I think it's in September.
Yeah. So looking forward to that show for sure. And then the last big news we had of they announced that Jessica Jones is getting a second season, but they didn't release a video that I know of.
No, I didn't. I couldn't.
Just that they officially announced that she's getting the second season, and that's good. I adored Jessica Jones.
I as much as I love Daredevil, I actually think Jessica Jones was better than Daredevil season.
It's a better show for sure.
It's a better written character-wise, I should say. But the big news came out. Defenders was officially announced. With our first sneak peek. Mostly
if you want to call it
it's just a little teaser promo of somebody getting really fancy in Photoshop, basically.
It's Stick.
I'm excited to hear that.
But we know that per the voiceover, that it is going to be at least what we know right now. It's just going to be Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Power Man. They may throw Punisher in there, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so. It wouldn't really make sense with after where he left in Daredevil season 2.
But Yoda and I kind of discussed this earlier in the week, and I feel like because Stick was talking to the four heroes, this is going to wrap up the hand arc that started in Daredevil season 2.
And that'll be good, because I'm already over that. Season 2.
They dragged that on and didn't even take it to the level that they should have at all.
Yeah, they didn't finish it. They built it up and then it just fizzled.
Petered out. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was not great.
I mean, that season should have been more about Punisher than.
It really should have. It should have been a dynamic between the Punisher and maybe even Fisk in prison trying to.
Oh yeah, that should have been 3 episodes alone.
That could have been a whole season.
But with that being said, it's gonna, Defenders is gonna be Netflix's answer to the Avengers. It's gonna be their first big team up. Kind of interesting to see this come to light. It opens the door for what I will call phase 2 of Netflix series.
I guess that's basically what's happening now.
After
right?
Defenders, we'll probably get Punisher. There's rumors of a Moon Knight series.
Oh my god, that would be so dope. I never fucking would have dreamed they would ever make Moon Knight into anything.
I heard rumors of a Cloak and Dagger series, whether that's going to be on
that would be cool too.
Network TV or Netflix. I'm not sure. I heard rumors.
Like a super weird thing to bring up at this point in time. Cloak and Dagger's like 40 years old at this point. Almost.
But Cloak and Dagger, I mean, it's probably going to be a net.
Dude, they have
Netflix
fucking
TV show.
vibe on the Flash. They're going deep cuts for all these fucking things.
Oh, they are. So that was all basically the Marvel TV news. But then they announced last night the movie news came out, and it started with Marvel unveiling their new logo for the studio. Simple, clean, elegant looking. I guess it's their way of promoting Phase 3.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
And then that kind of led into the new Doctor Strange trailer. Yep. This one was much longer than the first one. Doctor Strange is coming the end of this year. And, okay, I have to admit, I've never been the biggest Doctor Strange fan.
I don't think I've ever read a Doctor Strange comic. I think the only ones you've popped into was one I read through Infinity War.
Yeah, I was remembering correctly. It's like 1982 for Cloak and Dagger. What? Wow.
But for Doctor Strange, you know, I've only ever read him in team-up appearances.
Yeah, same.
I've
never read a Doctor Strange book.
The Illuminati, you know, when he appears in big things. So for me, this is kind of exciting to go into a Marvel movie and not know a bunch of the backstory.
Yeah. I was like that with Guardians of the Galaxy because I never picked up a Guardians of the Galaxy book, but I enjoyed my time with that.
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, did everybody see the new NASA support mission patch?
That was cool.
It has Groot and Rocket on it.
Groot and Rocket.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's really
I
cool.
love Rocket. Rocket's my favorite.
That's pretty great.
I got kind of teary-eyed when I saw it. It's really dumb, but I was really excited about it.
No, that's freaking awesome.
Anyway.
So what's everyone's thoughts on the Doctor Strange trailer? Are you excited for the movie?
Tilda Swinton, Tilda Swinton, Tilda Swinton, Tilda
dude,
Swinton.
Hannibal Lecter. What are you talking about, Tilda Swinton?
That's all I care about.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I think I am excited for it. Actually,
it'll be cool to see something different. You know?
I'm only okay with Cumberbatch being Doctor Strange. I think there are way better people that could have played him.
Littlefinger.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
I think he'll do a fine job.
Yeah,
he's clearly the choice that'll put asses in seats, and so.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it. I just think that there are two actors out there. I can picture their faces. I don't recall their names offhand. That look just like Doctor Strange.
George Clooney.
No,
Actually,
George Clooney.
Actually, Clooney might have been good.
No, I think he would.
No, you're both wrong.
You guys just don't like George Clooney for some reason.
No, I do like George
Clooney.
He's too big a name to have in his position.
That's true. Well, yeah.
But anyway, and I'm okay also with Tilda Swinton being the Ancient or whatever.
Yeah, I am.
The
so
Ancient
stoked
one.
about her being in that.
Yeah.
I love everything Tilda Swinton is in. She's just good.
There was some controversy over that, I think, originally, and people were like, "Oh, the Ancient's not a woman, and not only that, but she's not Chinese, and all this kind of stuff."
They made her Chinese and not Tibetan, but they didn't make her Tibetan because China hates Tibet, and China is what Marvel makes all their money from. So, yeah.
They said, if there was a Tibetan actor playing her, this movie would not be shown in China. Just no questions asked. That would be all there is to it. So that's their reason, and I think that's valid. That's a huge market.
Mm-hmm. It's sad that's the world we live in, but it's the world we live in.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. I'm a little surprised this movie's going to end up going to China anyway, since it has to do with magic. And
well, yeah, they just banned Ghostbusters. Well, they banned Ghostbusters at the last second, so it might be the same thing.
Maybe they banned Ghostbusters though, not really because magic. They were just like, this movie is gonna suck, and we don't want our people to have to watch this movie. And then they were like, I don't know, what's a good reason to tell the
Aaron, are you
Americans?
sure you're a woman? Because you sound like a patriarchal misogynist
I
now.
am a patriarchal misogynist.
That's you don't like.
That's what they pay me to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean.
I'm interested. I mean, I like the trailer. The trailer looks a little like Inception.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
The color scheme, everything about that looks like that to me.
But it looks cool. I think I might be interested in seeing it.
So yeah, that Aaron brought us into Guardians. Briefly, and we got some Guardians news. We got the official kind of logo this time around for Volume 2. But the biggest news to come out of it is Kurt Russell joining Guardians.
I'm so excited about Kurt Russell being in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
So is,
Not only that,
so is my mom, by the way. My mom is stoked.
Do you know, before we carry on and before you tell her this, do you know what he's doing in Guardians 2?
Yes, he is Star-Lord.
No, I know you know. I'm trying to figure out if Aaron knows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was going to blow your mind or
He's
not.
Star-Lord's father, who is actually Ergo the Living Planet.
Yeah.
Yep. Ego.
Oh, I missed. Yep, you're right. Sorry.
That's cool.
But anyways, this is shocking because in the comic books, it's literally a living planet. How can a planet be a father to a human male? I guess these questions are going to be answered. They released the costume that Kurt Russell is going to be wearing, so he's going to be taking, I guess, a human form.
Yeah,
in some way.
Ego has a whole lot of. Ego's a very weird character, but Ego, if I remember correctly, has very weird mental powers and can project himself in ways.
He's a super weird character. I think they couldn't have picked a better guy to do it though.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because nothing. Okay, so Guardians is one of those movies that is a throwback to 80s. 80s sci-fi and 80s references. Yeah. And who better to play Star-Lord's father than Kurt Russell, who was the king in the 80s.
Every time...
Snake Plissken himself, motherfucker.
Snake Plissken, Captain Ron.
Captain Ron.
Big Trouble, Overboard. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm very excited about Kurt Russell coming aboard. We also had other casting... in the movie as Elizabeth Debicki was cast as Aisha, or her, or whatever you want to call the character. For those that don't know, she is mostly known in the newest Man from U.N.C.L.E. film. Really good actress. I'm excited to see her aboard. She's very beautiful. And that's kind of the character that she's playing. She's known for beauty and whatnot. So it's kind of cool. This movie is really shaping up. I listened to Anna Faris's podcast, who those that don't know is married to Chris Pratt. It's her, his wife, and she has members from Guardians of the Galaxy cast come onto her podcast all the time, whether it's Dave Bautista or James Gunn himself. And they've been slowly, leaking information, whatnot. But this is kind of a Marvel film that, because they're so isolated in the universe, quote unquote, in a way, this movie is like a family. So it's really cool to see them coming back. Everyone's coming back. Bradley Cooper's coming back to voice Rocket.
Who you would never know is Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, he did. I thought his voice acting was great.
He did such a good job.
Because I was walking into that movie thinking, this is going to be the Bradley Cooper show, and it's just going to be really annoying the whole time. And no, he did great. He needs to do some more voice work. I thought he really killed it.
And Vin Diesel is coming back as Groot.
What was that
surprise there?
Rocket, for me, when I watched it, now you got to understand, I'm not a comics book guy at all, which is why I'm being mostly quiet this podcast. But when I watched that movie, Rocket stole that whole movie for me. And when Rocket burst into tears, that broke my heart.
Oh my god. I cried so bad. So this was one of the movies when I had just gotten back from Ireland. And we had all gone to go and see this. So I'm like jet lagged. And I'm tired.
No.
And it's like, my dad was like, I haven't seen you in forever. Let's go see a movie. And so, all of us get in the car and we go see Guardians of the Galaxy. And that scene happened, and I just lost my shit.
I can understand. I did too. I mean, it was just the movie it doesn't really take itself seriously right up until that point.
Right.
I mean, it's sort of funny and silly, and Groot and Rocket are goofy and funny. And
As they should be.
And then there's this moment where Groot sacrifices himself, and you're like, no, don't do that.
Spoilers.
Oh my god. Well, it's an old movie at this point. And I was watching this, and I was thinking, how are they doing this in this movie? I'm feeling things. Well, I mean, I felt things for him.
I'm feeling.
Gray was like, my small metal heart has turned away from stone and has become flesh once again.
Well, I felt very
And
sorry
his heart grew 3 sizes after.
I felt very sorry for him when he's at the bar and he gets really
Oh my
drunk.
god, it was so bad.
And he comes out and he says, you actually don't know how it feels to be the last person of your species. You don't understand it at all. And then he just walks off. And I felt bad for him already then. Okay?
Yeah.
And then this happens. I'm like, oh, no, don't take Groot away from him. So I'm very
Drax
glad.
petting his head.
So I'm very glad.
The poster for the movie has Baby Groot sitting on Drax's shoulder.
Oh, very good.
And I was like, yeah!
Yeah, very good. So I'm glad that they're bringing the voice actor back because he nailed that part.
Drax the guy who played Drax, I forget his name.
Dave
currently.
Bautista.
Thank you. Did such a good job at being Drax.
Drax
in the
was
film
awesome.
Too.
I think
I'm
was my
so
favorite
glad they
from the
got
movie.
the cast of the first movie to do the second film.
Nothing goes over my head. I'm too quick.
Yeah, I would catch
good.
it. Yeah.
No, so yeah, it's I'm very excited about Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It was kind of the breakout hit of that phase of films, right up there with Civil War, in my opinion. So, but in other news, we got our first official look, sort of, at Thor Ragnarok. / Planet Hulk, if you want to call it that. This is going to be a team-up film. Hulk is going to be teaming up with Thor. Last time we saw Hulk, he was escaping on a twin jet and kind of vanished. They addressed that in Civil War. They have been looking for him, Natasha especially, to no avail. So I guess somehow he found his way into space and or to Asgard itself. So it's going to be meshing these two stories of Planet Hulk and the Ragnarok storyline. I have to mention, this whole phase of Marvel films seemed to be heavily inspired by the 80s, because the logo for Thor Ragnarok...
It looks like something out of fucking Blood Dragon, like straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks great.
It looks great.
I love it. I really hope it's just a silly 80s action romp with fucking Thor and Hulk the whole time.
Well, Laser Panthers!
Well, Mark, help me here. Mark Ruffalo did say it's heavily inspired by a buddy cop sort of thing.
Good. Perfect.
Thor and Hulk teaming up.
Right.
So
Murdoch and Riggs, a.k.a. Hulk and Thor.
If you like Turner and Hooch...
I guess that's more appropriate than Lethal Weapon, yeah.
I guess so. But, so we know Cate Blanchett is going to be Hela in it. But also we have Sitar coming in, who is kind of like this devil-ish character.
Sitar?
Sitara, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I said.
Yeah,
I apologize.
it's a sitar. That's what the character is.
Sit on it.
Like, that's the... Yeah. Like the,
But anyways, so yeah, I'm... Okay, I've tolerated the last two Thor films. I thought the second one was a lot better.
I like the second one fine.
But with that being said, I am a huge Hulk fan, and knowing that this is basically Hulk 2,
it's the only Hulk movie we're gonna get out of the Marvel.
Yeah, probably.
Shit, which kind of sucks because I wanted a Planet Hulk movie. I want any kind of Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo. He totally deserves one because he killed it as Bruce Banner.
Incredible Hulk is still considered part of Phase 1.
I know, and I like that movie a lot, but I want another one.
Yeah, with Mark Ruffalo starring.
Yeah.
I might make a lot of people angry by saying this, but I didn't hate the Eric Bana one.
Ang Lee.
I thought it was all right.
The first half is really... The first half is good.
Yeah, it does have a strong first half, and then when he starts jumping country to country and trying to have emotion with what's
the whole
her
father
face.
stuff and the giant jellyfish, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that was.
Yeah,
dumb.
really, the only thing I remember from that movie was being like, yeah, this lab stuff in the beginning here is pretty good. We're gonna
And the
And,
music. I thought the music was really good.
Yeah, I did like.
Yeah,
the music
it was
in
great.
That.
Yeah, I like the comic book frame.
Yeah, I did
film.
too. I wish they would do
that was
more.
cool.
I wish they would do that more.
I also, if I remember correctly, it does have a Marvel label on it, so it's I don't know if there was...
Oh well, yeah, but that's before they had the.
Yeah, that was before the
think that was right on
cinematic universe.
Yeah, the cinematic universe starts at the first Iron Man movie. That's where everything became the cinematic universe canon.
Well, anyway, I didn't think it was that terrible. I know it's not. It's certainly not the best.
It's
one.
not the
And
worst.
I really-
It's not the worst comic book movie ever, but it's
No.
certainly not a great film.
Yeah. So, moving right along with the Marvel news, Marvel then brought out more information for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah,
I
that would be
am
cool.
exceedingly excited about Spider-Man Homecoming.
He's a Vulture supposed to be the
Yeah,
It is
They
confirmed.
officially announced that Vulture is the main villain, although there is rumors from the Marvel toy panel. I know this doesn't say much because toys don't always follow the movie, that two other villains in the film will be Tinker
Don't tell that to Ghostbusters.
and Shocker. Whether this turns out to be true or not, we will find out. But we know for a fact that Vulture is confirmed. Thus, I feel that Michael Keaton is probably playing Vulture.
That would be cool.
Unless they make him Norman Osborn, and I kind of hope they do, because I'd rather see Michael Keaton more, you know? Because whoever they cast as Norman Osborn is going to be around for a long time.
That's true. I would rather him be Michael Keaton, I think, but it's just there's something so perfect about him winning the Oscar for Birdman and then playing Vulture, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a little too on the nose, and I kind of really want it.
So apparently they screened footage. That footage has not leaked online. But some of the things it showcased, it really heavily showcased Peter Parker in high school, out of costume.
Do you think they're waiting to premiere it with Doctor Strange?
That would
maybe?
make sense.
Doctor Strange or Rogue One, I'm guessing.
Maybe. I would say probably Rogue One, if anything.
I don't know if they can keep it from leaking that long. Doctor Strange comes out
We'll
way
see.
sooner.
Apparently, the leaked footage, there wasn't much of him actually in the Spider-Man costume.
Oh.
It was mostly showcasing how it's going to be inspired by a John Hughes kind of high school story.
Yay!
That sounds perfect. That sounds great.
You know, they announced officially announced that Flash Thompson is now going to be played by a man of Indian descent.
Cool.
So they've race bent Flash Thompson. I have no problems with that. They've also race bent Liz Allen, who is now played, I looked it up, by a young black woman. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
As long as the character's
what a
still
racist.
a character, I don't care.
I don't
As
really-
long as it still works, doesn't
Yeah.
bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Here, I'm actually,
Although I could
bothered
totally
with
see
this
people
stuff.
being like, they portrayed Indian people as violent and bullies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably.
That'll happen.
Laura Harrier is Liz Allen. I looked her up, and she's mostly known for, you know, daytime soap opera stuff. But all the cast is pretty young. Peter Parker's going to have, I guess, a best friend, a la kind of what the Miles Morales character has with his best friend in the comics. So they are. It makes it seem like they're actually trying to make it a John Hughes high school.
It's a modern take on the Silver Age Spider-Man, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's where Peter Parker's actually like a 16-year-old kid, and the people that are around him are of his age.
And
Which
of
is
course,
good.
this has to the title of Homecoming revolves around the fact that not only is Spider-Man coming home to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it also takes place during Homecoming in high school.
Yep.
And apparently
Which
the
is
footage.
appropriate, since this is the first time a teenager is actually playing Peter Parker, a teenager. So
And apparently the footage ends with Peter racing down the hall, ripping open his shirt to show a spider image, and then jumping on a wall, and actually they show him wall crawling. And that's not something we got a lot of in Civil War.
That's true.
So, kind of nice to know that the wall crawler is going to be wall crawling again. I am exceedingly excited about Homecoming. I know it's not finished shooting right now, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. Marvel's going to treat it really well, obviously. So
it sounds like Kevin Feige's got his hands basically all the way up Sony's ass and into their mouth, and he's literally just puppeteering the entire thing for them, which is as it should be, because Sony doesn't make good movies anymore.
Yeah. Last but not least, for the Marvel side of the news, was the biggest reveal, and one I actually clapped for. Brie Larson has been confirmed as Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel, and I couldn't be more happy for this.
Yeah, that's going to be excellent. That's a good choice. They did a good job with that. I think she's going to make an excellent Captain Marvel.
That made news this morning. I was watching it on TV. I thought it was really funny. And they're like, Marvel's first female superhero.
ScarJo's got to feel really bad.
Maybe not, but...
Well, solo, I guess, because she's maybe the first solo.
Yeah. And I guess Black Widow's not really a superhero. She's just a government agent.
She's a superhero.
I know. I agree. She's a superhero.
So, for those that don't know who've been under a rock, Brie Larson is most known for
she just won an Oscar last year.
Yeah, just won an Oscar for her portrayal in The Room. Fantastic film.
I think it's just called Room. Room.
Is it just Room? Okay.
The Room is a very different movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody won Oscars for The Room. No.
Goodness.
But she, on the comic book front, she was actually in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She played Scott's ex, Envy Adams.
Yep, and she was great in that. I think that's the only thing I've seen her in. That movie was really good. The only thing I think they messed up in that was Kim, but that's just because
she was in the TV show United States of Terra, where she played the main daughter, and very good in that show also. So I'm exceedingly happy that she's coming around. It's kind of funny. She's great. It's kind of funny. She's been in Hollywood for years and years, and now she's getting recognition, and it's really nice. I'm very happy about that.
She's gonna be in Kong Skull Island as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Kong Skull Island did get announced. That is not a Marvel
dumbest looking Kong.
No, it looks great.
I'm sorry. I think it looks stupid.
Why does it look stupid? What looks stupid about it? It's a movie. It's a horror movie on Skull Island. That sounds awesome.
I'm not. I don't know.
How many times do you want them to remake the exact same King Kong movie? I'm glad they're doing something different.
I don't want any more King Kong movies. I thought the first one was good, and that was it. And,
it's great. It's also really hard to watch now because they beat women and laugh about it.
Well, yeah.
I like the Peter Jackson movie.
Yeah, I think that's the best King Kong film.
I don't like
is the
Peter Jackson one.
I love that movie.
But here's the thing, though. I look at King Kong more like I look at like Mighty Joe Young, except like a mean-ish version.
Wow, that takes me back. No, they're only doing
on
this
Skull Island. On Skull Island, it looks like King Kong is like Godzilla size. He's a kaiju.
He's supposed to be hella big, dude.
That's what they're doing. Is it's already been rumored that if this movie does well,
they're gonna have a fucking Godzilla King Kong team up movie where they fight. Oh, I want it so bad.
Let them fight.
I want it so bad.
Yeah, so they're definitely making this is like America's second kaiju universe film. I guess third if you're gonna count.
Yeah, because Guillermo del Toro already said that he wanted Pacific Rim and Godzilla to have a team-up movie, so I want like Warner Brothers to just have a Pacific Rim, King Kong, and Godzilla cinematic universe where we all just see a bunch of giant motherfuckers beat the shit out of each other while humans get scared. I want it so bad.
So, But yeah, Brie Larson is in that film. So yeah, that kind of does it for the stuff on the Marvel end of Spectre. So we're going to be switching gears to DC Comics. And
I have a thing.
Oh, you have a thing.
For
Okay.
DC. Today is Linda Carter's birthday.
Happy birthday, Linda Carter!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
She is 65 years young.
She still looks amazing.
She looks amazing,
Yeah,
and
so.
I don't care. She's the best Wonder Woman ever. I don't care.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's totally fair.
Absolutely. Gal Gadot is awesome, though. I will say that. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
thought she kicked ass.
what the hell is Linda Carter? Excuse me. Linda Carter is also going to be the president on Supergirl.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool. That's really
She's
cool.
going to be playing. She's going to be on that show.
All of those shows have done a really great job at keeping like everything in the family. Like Barry Allen's dad is played by the guy who played Flash in the '90s show.
Yep.
They did such a good even back to like the Brandon Roth Superman movies. They did good there because the girl who played Lois Lane in the George Reeves serials
Yep.
is in that film.
May
Lex
she rest
Luthor's-
in peace.
Yep,
She just passed away.
a couple of weeks ago. But
Yeah. So
it's always cool to see them respect the old heritage of the characters and stuff like that.
So with that being said, this is a perfect segue with Linda Carter into launching us into DC news because we are celebrating the 75th year of Wonder Woman.
Woo!
And
Yeah.
what better way to do this with the huge breakout announcement of the DC panel of the first official trailer for Wonder Woman.
I don't know why
And-
Chris Pine is in it though.
And oh my god, was that trailer everything I could have ever wanted
it
and more.
was honestly a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Here's
Yeah.
the, here's
I
the thing about
really,
the
really
trailer
liked
though,
it.
guys. Did they blow their load?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
so.
don't
don't
know.
I don't know. I kind of feel that way. Okay, so here's the thing. Again, I'm probably going to make some people upset. I didn't like the trailer.
What?
Yeah,
I thought it looks like an action movie. I was
You like
"No."
Ang Lee's Hulk and you don't like the new trailer. There's something wrong with you.
You are smoking crack, sir.
I first off, I think the lasso of truth is the worst superhero tool ever.
No.
Be quiet.
All right.
Jinx high five. All right.
I don't like when she's like in the trailer. She's walking through a party, concealing
With the
a sword.
yeah, that
in her-
I
in her
don't
dress.
like
That
that.
was so badass.
That was
I
dope.
don't know what
It's
you were
not
talking about.
badass
That's
because
dope.
you know what happens when you do shit like that? You break everything that you're wearing underneath your dress. Also, you can't
maybe
fucking
she
walk.
has Wonder Woman status fabric, huh? What do you think
No.
about that?
No, because
You know,
as
it's
a
so
woman
fast.
watching this, I went like, "That's horribly impractical. You wouldn't want to put a
Yes.
sword in your ass, would
That's
you?
stupid.
No, it's fucking dumb. You wouldn't put a fucking sword in your asshole."
Well, this film's
sword in your
directed by a
asshole?
woman, so maybe she would. Maybe some women are into that. All right, you don't know.
Now that does not mean that I don't want to see Wonder Woman. I definitely do. I think it's going to be cool. I think the trailer had some cool moments.
Yes.
The trailer had some cool the whole World War II battle scene where she's running through
World
no
War
man's
One.
land, deflect mortar shots. Yeah, World War One. Sorry. When she's running through, blocking mortar shots with a shield and just charge. That's amazing. looking.
Yeah.
That stuff looks so
Well,
cool.
That's
what I wanna see.
What I'm really happy with
Yeah.
it is the lighting from scene to scene. Every scene really seems to have its own kind of lighting theme. I mean, there's the shot of the plane coming in through the beach area where it's all very saturated and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you have your cold blues and stuff like that, and you're seeing right now on the trailer. I think they do a really great job of playing around with color in all these different shots, and it really helps it feel like it's a very different film from anything we've seen from obviously the DC universe that we have right now, and even really the
Yeah.
Marvel universe. I think it really makes it stand as its own thing, as it should, because it's fucking Wonder Woman.
With that being
Yeah.
said, this movie is very important because it is, we've had solo female superhero movies in the past that have done horribly.
Well, that's because they weren't well written or directed.
Yeah, so this is, but even before
Ghostbusters.
Marvel, even before Marvel can get one out, a solo female hero, DC is jumping on board for Wonder Woman, and I am so excited about this. I
think
believe
it's gonna be
that
awesome.
she stole the show every time she was on screen in Batman vs Superman. Her music theme that they gave her is carried over to the new movie, and I use this theme in my workout mix.
It's pretty good. It's a good guitar riff. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't
It's
use
fun.
Superman. I don't use Batman. I use Wonder Woman to get me pumped. So
Yeah.
I mean, Themyscira, because they showed images of Themyscira, looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good.
I think it's really interesting that they're doing a World War I approach, and the reason I say this is because Wonder Woman was created to promote, women promoting the cause to go to war in World War II.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're not doing a World War II movie is interesting but nice at the same time, because we have so many World War II movies out there.
Well, I think they also want to avoid getting called a Captain America clone, because the first Captain America film was set in World War II.
And that and the reveal, the Batman v Superman reveal for Wonder Woman is a shot of her in World War One.
Yeah.
So the continuity is already already established there. They have to keep that.
Yeah,
that's good though.
The only reservation I have is that the director of this film, it directed a really incredible film called Monster, but that was a very, very small film with Charlize Theron.
That was a good,
very great, very powerful indie film. Very different from something as spontaneous and fun as Wonder Woman. And certainly different in terms of studio size and the amount of budget that is behind it. But from the trailer alone, it looks like she was able to get producers behind her to get the money spending in a good, even flow and get everything set up well production-wise.
And what I liked about
through
this
in the
trailer
final
too, was it had humor. And that was the big downfall of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. And the big complaint was there was no humor. Now, I understand now what Zack Snyder was doing was he was getting all this kind of darkness out of the way, I think, so he could have more lighthearted. Do I agree with that approach? Not necessarily, but I think it would be more jarring if the movies had started out more lighthearted and then gotten darker and darker.
Well, I think
with Batman v Superman.
I think that problem comes down to Warner Brothers doesn't really have a Kevin Feige. They don't have someone who's in charge of like the circle of getting comic book creators and filmmakers together to sit down and go, all right, what are the stories we want to tell and what are the order we want to tell them in, and have someone like Kevin Feige to really direct that back end behind it all, to have a good spine for all these films to be laid out.
But didn't they just hire somebody to do that?
I don't know. Maybe they did.
Hold on, I'm looking this up. I thought they just brought somebody in. Anyways, but you guys can keep talking while I
Gray, what did you think of the Wonder Woman trailer? Did you check it out?
I did not. I'm sorry. I'm not into comics and that sort of thing. I am glad that they are making a movie about a woman superhero, which doesn't come a lot, or doesn't come along often enough, though.
Yeah.
You were probably in college when the Linda Carter things were around, right? Or were you like, were you just buying your first house? I don't know.
Okay, so the problem for me in comics has always been that whenever I've read them, they've always been difficult for me to pass because of my eyesight, always. I tried in the 80s, I bought a couple of comics back then because I thought that I would be into them, and I kind of liked some of the stuff. I liked the idea of Superman, but I didn't think that he was vulnerable enough. I liked the idea of Thor because that was a throwback to the olden times. I liked the idea of Hulk.
When you were a child, right?
No, I mean, I'm talking about the idea of the Olympians and that kind of thing. The idea of Hulk was very interesting, and of the lot of them, I thought he had the most potential because he has to keep his beast in check. That's what he has to do. And I thought that struggle was very, very interesting. But the problem with the comics in the 80s was that they weren't about that. They were about action all the time.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, so
here and there they were. You had some gems by certain writers like Alan Moore coming out with stuff like the Killing Joke and stuff in that era.
We're talking about that's few and far between, and at the spot where I was, you didn't hear a lot about that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's nothing like Spider-Man 9/11 back then.
Right. So I was aware of Wonder Woman. I never picked up any of the comics, unfortunately, but I liked the idea of her, and I liked the idea that the original writer who set her up as a strong woman who was conscientious of her strength and wanted to pass that on to other women. And I thought that was a very interesting sort of lesson that more comics should be passing along. You know, it's not just strength, and strength is a lot of different things. It's not just, you know, you are strong because you're physically strong.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the backstory for her, it's very, very interesting. I mean, the way he sets her up is very interesting. And so I'm glad that they're taking a shot in the dark and they're saying, okay, let's actually make a Wonder Woman movie, and hopefully it won't be silly. That's my sole.
Yeah, I hope it's not silly.
Well,
too.
and this is the first Wonder Woman film we've only had Wonder Woman television shows, right? Am I incorrect in saying that we've not had a theatrical release of a Wonder Woman film?
Animated movies too.
Oh well, yeah, the animated films of her were great too.
Right, because I was going to say in the 80s, I remember that there were a slew of little animated things. But again, the problem is really how they handle her and how they handle the setup for her. Yeah. Because if they turn her into, like, okay, so I watched some of the Spider-Man reboots, and the problem
that's not a good way to judge Spider-Man at all.
No, probably not. But that's the point I want to bring up. If they do what they did with him, which was they turned him into a whiny kid, and that was basically his shtick, right, throughout all those movies. If they do that with her, I feel that they've lost the battle. You know,
I don't think they're going to
do that.
And I kind of hope they don't do that.
Because in the trailer, they show her, and that's the thing is they talked about, you know, part of the 75th anniversary panel in of itself is they brought out Patty Jenkins, the director. They brought out Gal Gadot, and they were all talking about it. And there's actually a really heartwarming story of how Gal got the news that she was cast as Wonder Woman. Was she was on a plane to, I guess, head home to Israel from LA when her agents called her, and they had a roundtable meeting to call her basically, and told her, and she started screaming and freaking out on the plane. And
that's awesome.
And then they told her, oh, but you can't tell anybody.
Okay.
So here she is freaking out on the plane, basically. And she can't
tell anyone why she's freaking out.
why she's freaking out. But with that being said, you know, they said that the way they're approaching Wonder Woman is this mixture of heart and strength, and we saw a lot of heart in this trailer alone with her mother and Diana, the heartwarming scene, and the fact that, you know, they're going to be touching on issues of sex and sexism. They had that great scene at the end of the trailer with
the slavery gag. That was good. This film was written actually by Jeff Johns, who, I mean, he's the savior of the DC universe. He's great.
Yeah, he's the chief creative officer. That's who I was looking at.
He's written really great comic books across many IPs, Wonder Woman being one of them. And the co-writer of the film is Alan Heinberg, who's openly gay and has written for Sex and the City, has written Young Avengers for Marvel, and has written Wonder Woman alongside Jeff Johns in the past. He wrote a 5-issue comic arc with Jeff Johns, and they're the people writing the film. So you really can't get a better screenplay, I'd imagine, than the people who have actually written Wonder Woman comics before.
But I agree with Wolf here, and I agree that Wonder Woman is going to be all cards on the table, basically. If it fails,
we're not gonna see another female-led superhero film.
Something like this for a long time.
Until Captain Marvel, because that's already greenlit. That's already going to go through production. So even if this movie's bad, Marvel's not going to cancel.
But with that being said,
but if they're both bad, then
it's not just the women aspect. It's the fact that if this is bad, it's going to be the end of the DCEU before it can even really get up and running.
Yeah.
Because Batman v Superman got a lot of negative press, and I don't think it deserved all the negative press that it got. Was it great? No. But was it horrible? No.
No, it certainly wasn't.
And Suicide Squad is coming out. With that being said, there's strong females in there, but it's not a female-driven story, I would say. It's a team story.
Yeah.
You know,
no, but they are looking at if I remember correctly, I read pretty recently about they're already looking at a Harley Quinn movie.
If it does well.
They were looking at adding her to a Birds of Prey film.
Yeah.
That very much depends on how people receive her in Suicide Squad. I know that people are very excited for her in Suicide Squad because she's funny and goofy, but it depends entirely on what people take away from that movie. If they keep on talking about her after that movie, she's good to go, and maybe they'll end up franchising her out, which I don't really like, but that's the way these things go.
Yeah.
But if people end up not talking about her at all and talking about the male superheroes out of that lot, you've lost the Harley Quinn thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, as much as I could spend the rest of this podcast talking about Wonder Woman, I'm going to move us along to the other actual DC news, and we'll start with DC TV, and we'll kind of fly through this pretty quickly. But we'll start with Supergirl, the breakout hit of last season, in my opinion. I love the Supergirl TV show. It's moving to CW to be with the other DC TV projects that CW has going on. As we mentioned earlier, Linda Carter has been cast as the President of the United States. They have cast Superman will be appearing at least for a few episodes, and he's played by an alum from Teen Wolf.
And they couldn't have picked a better guy. That guy looks like Superman.
Yeah,
you've seen a picture of him. He's fit for the role.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for Supergirl to be coming to the CW. With that being said, I'm also a little weary because I know CW loves to push their romance arcs. Olicity. Oh, sorry, got something in my throat. With that being said, I am looking forward to Supergirl. The next thing they announced was the sizzle reel of Arrow Season 5. After 2 very bad seasons, I don't know what more Arrow can do to get back on track, especially after the fact they killed off Black Canary this last season. Spoilers, but I care very little about the show after that was announced. But with that being said, and the outrage of them killing off Katie Cassidy's Laurel Lance, Black Canary, they did announce at Comic-Con, even though she wasn't there in attendance, that Katie Cassidy has signed a new deal, much like Wentworth Miller from Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash, that Katie Cassidy will be appearing on every show on the CW DC universe. If that means Laurel Lance is coming back from the dead, what I hope it does, or if it's going to be her evil Earth 2 counterpart, if it's going to be a completely different Earth version of Black Canary, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it's not through stupid flashbacks, but we'll see. If they do bring her back, I will be going back to watch Arrow, but after they killed her off, I wrote off Arrow entirely. She was the one of the greatest written characters, and they killed her off to promote Olicity, and I was disgusted with that.
So the only show in this lineup that matters to me is Supergirl. I like Supergirl. I started off hating Supergirl, and then as they went on, the one episode that really made me go, all right, this is a cool show, is when they did Bizarro.
Yes.
That was excellent. The way they moved Bizarro's character, her uniform gradually got darker and turned gray, and her hair turned red, and
it was quite emotional too.
Yeah, well, it was. And hopefully they'll bring her back, because I don't think they killed her. They just put her to sleep.
Yeah.
But as far as the Flash and Arrow goes, I couldn't give two rats nutsacks about those shows.
Well, thank you,
Flash is great.
That's a great segue into Flash, or as we're going to be calling it, Flashpoint.
Yep. I'm excited for that.
They are doing their own take on the Flashpoint storyline. Apparently, Season 3 of The Flash will pick up 1 year after the events that ended Season 2.
Don't spoil us. Don't do it.
I'm gonna be as spoiler free as I can. It is gonna be doing Flashpoint. Barry will have been living in this alternate universe for a year. Apparently, Flashpoint will affect every other show as well.
That's awesome.
How much it will affect, we do not know. When it will affect, we do not know. But, you know, there are things that are coming on Flashpoint that are to be looking forward to. But because you guys are still watching it, I will quickly move on to Legends of Tomorrow. Or, as we can call Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, Justice Society, and even the Legion of Doom. That is correct. They have announced that not only will the Justice Society and Justice Society members be appearing, but the Legion of Doom will probably be the big villain that will span the giant crossover that is coming, that will span all 4 shows. So that will be really interesting to see and see how that unfolds. Over on the animated side, we have a new Teen Titans animated movie that's coming out, along with an animated Batman and Harley Quinn movie. That sounds interesting.
Oh, is that going to be Mad Love?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be, actually.
That's awesome. That's a great book.
That would be cool.
Yeah. If anyone hasn't read Mad Love, you should definitely read the book.
It's a very good story. And with that being said... Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna step back a minute. What we didn't talk about the Justice League trailer.
Oh,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. That's the big piece of pie.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Okay, I thought we were, I thought we ended the Marvel or the DC movie category there. So that's why I was bringing it up.
Nope. I wanted to start it out strong and then end it strong. So I ruined
it, guys.
The last thing on the TV front was the new Justice League animated show, Justice League Action, that's coming. Huge voice actors coming in. We are having from Batman the Animated Series. Most of the voice cast is coming back from that to voice Batman and Joker respectively. That is going to be very cool. I kind of like the art direction that they're taking. It's going to showcase a lot of lesser known heroes like Firestorm and stuff like that. So that should be an interesting thing, and I believe that's going to be coming to CW. Or not CW, sorry, Cartoon Network. Back to movie news, we had a director's panel that all the coming directors and the previous directors of the DC movies came out. The big highlight here was James Wan talking about his solo Aquaman movie. For those that don't know, James Wan is a horror director. So the fact that he's going to be tackling something that's not supposed to be horror is going to be really interesting.
I think James Wan is going to do an excellent job with Aquaman because of what.
Well, he's done things other than just horror too. He's done a few Fast and Furious films.
He's known for his horror films because they are so good.
Well, he's excellent. He seems kind of like a Wes Craven to me. Wes Craven didn't want to make horror films. The only reason he started with Nightmare on Elm Street because he thought making a horror film would be easier than making a real movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wes Craven wasn't even really a fan of horror movie, and he created one of the most iconic villains of all time. James Wan, I think he's not quite Wes Craven level as good as a director, but it certainly feels that way when he directs horror films. Like he barely needs to try and create stuff that's just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But he really likes to do action films, and he directed Furious 7.
Yes, and one of the best Fast and Furious movie in the franchise. But with that being said, the thing that he said during his panel that really struck a chord with me is how he's going to be approaching Atlantis and stuff like that. So he says it's going to be a little bit spooky because it's underwater and we don't know everything that's under there. It's like this final frontier that we haven't dared to push the boundary of.
Well, I kind of want that to happen.
I get that, but I also really kind of wanted him to just I wanted Jason Momoa to break out into a dance number with a crab and just start being like, under the sea.
No.
So
this is why you don't get to direct film.
The director panel.
Come on! A Little Mermaid and Aquaman movie would be the best crossover in fucking history.
The director's panel was interesting. I mean, they brought out Ben Affleck, who's going to, of course, direct the solo Batman movie whenever they get to that.
Yeah, we have no idea when that's coming.
He announced how excited he is and how hard at work they are on the script. Rumors are that it's going to be their own kind of take on the Arkham Asylum.
That's what I was hearing.
Comic/video game. So, but to move us along, because I know we've been going a long time. The final breakout huge news that won, in my opinion, Comic-Con for DC Comics was not only the first official image of the team, but we got the first official trailer for Justice League.
And it was...
What? Oh, that's a surprise. I didn't ruin it at all.
I was hoping the viewers, had kind of dozed off in between.
Don't worry, we don't have any live viewers anymore. YouTube took us down, so...
Oh, YouTube took us down?
Yep, because apparently we played something copyrighted, even though it's all under fair use, because... And these are all from not the studio's YouTube channels, by the way. So other people are getting away with it, just not us. So.
That's fine.
Well, that sucks. Anyways, but yes, Justice League was announced. Oh boy, did I have goosebumps? That official image, let's talk about that a bit, that is currently the background on my computer. And it is beautiful. Wonder Woman standing front and center with the sun shining behind her. We have Superman to her right, who looks like he's actually smiling. That's right, people. Superman is smiling. Batman has a slightly newer costume. Unfortunately, they're back to the all black. That was one thing that I liked about Batman v Superman, was that he wasn't just all black. It was grays and yellows on his costume. We have our first official look at Flash. The movie version of Flash looks entirely different than the TV version. Very inspired by the Injustice video games. He looks very, very good. And this was kind of a controversial thing because Grant Gustin's Flash on the TV show is so beloved.
He's really... They're him and Andrew Kreisberg and Greg Berlanti are doing a great job with the Flash TV show. So it was surprising that they didn't want to work with CW to do cross-canon like Marvel did. But after this first trailer, I'm pretty sold already.
I feel okay with that guy being the Flash.
Yeah. With that being said...
Yeah, I think he looks like a lot better Flash than the guy that's on TV.
I love Grant Gustin.
Yeah, he's great.
There's the thing, though, is Ezra Miller has the utmost respect for Grant Gustin. And he has since he got cast.
How come he didn't cast him?
Well, Ezra Miller isn't the director. That's why.
Well, I think the big thing, the reason they didn't cast it is because, and I know this sounds horrible, and I like him as an actor, I just don't like the show, is Stephen Amell. If they were to bring in Grant Gustin as Flash and cross over the TV universe, they would have to pull in Grant Gustin as Green Arrow, and Stephen
Amell is Green Arrow.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't make sense either because
Gustin.
No, you go ahead. It's fine.
I don't think Grant Gustin would be good in the DC cinematic universe as the Flash because the Flash show is
boring. Yes, that's the
no,
not at
I
all.
love that show.
The show's amazing.
The show itself is like the overall tone of the show is like
candy.
Happy.
It's like candy.
Exciting.
It's the sweetest thing in the world.
It's not as happy as Supergirl, but it's close.
Right, but when you walk, I wouldn't want to put that Flash into the same universe where.
Yeah.
I couldn't like.
I think George has the nail on the head there, though, with the Green Arrow argument, because I mean we've already seen that we're getting a really seasoned Batman, and so it would be kind of weird to also then have a young Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Like I'd be pretty cool with like even a one-armed Green Arrow, maybe.
No.
Oh come on! It would be awesome.
Without being again. So I want to break down the trailer a little bit. because the trailer starts with Bruce seeking out Arthur Curry Aquaman. And we get our first official look, besides the snippet from Batman v Superman, of Aquaman. And boy, does Jason Momoa look amazing.
It looks like a total
The
boss.
fact that they gave him these white eyes was really striking. I wasn't expecting that at all. Aquaman has a temper to him. We've seen that in recent years in the comic books, I should say. So that's not entirely shocking. But the nice thing about this trailer is it didn't take itself seriously. It wasn't serious. It was funny. Batman was making jokes. Wonder Woman was making jokes. Flash was making jokes. Even Cyborg.
Get off my... What are you doing on my
jokes.
second favorite cat?
Like, Flash,
Yeah,
it wouldn't
keep
be
this-
Flash if he wasn't making jokes. Like, if he came in and he was like,
Exactly.
Bruce Wayne! Like, that wouldn't have been fun at all. I would have been
Flash
like,
was
oh,
watching
good.
Rick and Morty. It's great.
Was he really?
Yep.
That's hilarious. That's even more funny because Rick and Morty is about jumping through different timelines and stuff. So, but with that being said, I mean, the Flash, when they showed the Flash in the trailer, it was kind of their own take on Tony Stark meeting Peter Parker in Civil War.
That's kind of what it looked like. I mean, obviously these films were in production around the same time, so I don't think one stole from the other internet, because that's what they're all saying already, but you don't know how film production works. They didn't make this movie in less than 6 months.
It was a weird coincidence.
It was a very cool scene.
I personally am glad that Jason Momoa is going to be Aquaman. I know we've already mentioned this once. I love Jason Momoa. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
I've liked him in everything I've seen him in, and I haven't watched Game of Thrones. So I guess he's really awesome in that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about Jason Momoa being Aquaman, but probably for completely...
You and every other woman on the internet.
You're for different reasons, yeah. But I think it's cool that Aquaman is going to be a badass character.
Yeah.
Like he used to be.
With that being said,
Not like some second string superhero, because he was a pretty cool character.
He's always been
He's one of the founders of the
Aquaman
Justice League. Yeah. So
he's always been one of my favorites. But with that being said, I mean, the trailer itself even ends with Batman making a joke and Aquaman looking like he's gonna rip his head off.
I was so expecting him to like, I heard you talk to fish, and then him to just give the New 52 line, I don't talk to fish.
Yeah.
I really wanted it. I wanted it so bad.
Even the lineup itself is very, with the minus of Green Lantern, unfortunately, is basically the New 52 lineup. And that makes sense because it's the newest iteration. DC just launched Rebirth, but Rebirth was written after this was already in development. So the full lineup, for those that haven't seen the image, is Flash, Superman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Aquaman. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get like Shazam in there, and
when we post this podcast to the site, we'll have to just give links to everything, because I'm just gonna put a giant dick over Marvel and DC because they both flagged the stream.
So. Charming. But anyways,
jerk butts.
Yeah. So another highlight
Shit asses.
Bunch of
for the trailer to me was Cyborg, who they actually gave some spotlight to in the trailer. He had a really kind of funny exchange with Batman, where he turns to Batman and he says, "I didn't think you were real." Batman basically says, "I'm as real when I need to be real." And the little banter was between Batman and Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman was asking if Aquaman had decided to join the team. Was very reminiscent of their relationship from the classic Justice League cartoon in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so that made me really happy to see that, this movie is a lot more lighthearted already.
Yeah.
And after Batman v Superman, especially with Zack Snyder still at the helm for this movie, that was my fear, was this movie was still going to be dark.
I don't mind it being dark. I wouldn't mind if it was a dark movie. I'm glad it's going to be a little lighthearted.
Yeah, like you can have dark movies that are still written well. So
yeah.
And this one, unlike Batman v Superman, doesn't have any more David S. Goyer on the screenplay side of things, which sounded like where's a lot of the problems for Man of Steel came from, and especially Dawn of Justice. This time we've got it exclusively written by Chris Terrio, who wrote Argo, which was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
so hopefully
it was-
he can kick out another great screenplay for Justice League. It certainly looks like he did so far.
So yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, Comic-Con, all things considered, was very quiet this year. I think last year they kind of exploded and announced all these things up to 2020 for both sides of Marvel and DC.
Yeah, now we're just sitting there waiting to see what we already know and get trailers for stuff we're expecting.
But I think the spotlight, on the Marvel side, it was confirming that Brie Larson had been cast. And on DC side, you had two amazing things. You had the first look at Wonder Woman, and then you had Justice League. And I was not expecting a first look at Justice League this soon.
I also didn't know that Willem Dafoe, he's not in the trailer, but apparently Willem Dafoe is playing Volko.
Yep.
Which is
ally
awesome.
to... semi-ally to Aquaman.
Yeah, he's
interesting
he's the
character.
creepy advisor, yeah, but I'm sure they'll
Yeah.
set that up for a power struggle in
Well,
in
he's
an Aquaman
he's
movie
playing
or
a
something like that.
Machiavellian, so it's going to be like, I do horrible things for the greater good.
Yeah,
So, and that's perfect for William Dafoe.
it really is.
So, but the one thing that was shocking, not overly shocking, but shocking to me, was there was no Superman in the trailer at all. This is kind of silly because we all know at the end of Batman v Superman that he's coming back. He's in the first official
Spoilers.
image of. He's in the first official image of.
Yeah, I kind of wish he wasn't in the first official image. I would rather it be an organic thing that happens in the films.
I would rather it just be a total surprise and not like they never even talk about Superman until the movie comes out. Don't show him in any trailers.
Yep, that's what
Just like he
I
just shows
want.
up in the movie.
That would have been
That's
cool.
what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for him to die in that episode in that
No.
movie.
No, like
not at all.
we could have had a really good build up to a Death of Superman storyline. That's not
Yeah,
your second movie.
Doomsday shouldn't
That's
have been in
not
it.
your third act tagged on storyline.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not. And Funeral for a Friend was also thrown in there like nothing.
Yeah,
So
it was like 30 seconds of Funeral for a Friend.
Yeah.
so yeah, we've been going for almost 2 hours, I think. So.
Yeah, close to it. So I think we're
Yeah,
probably
so-
rounding down.
Yeah, so that was
Zootopia
all the
Comics.
big DC Comic-Con news, at least for right now. Maybe more stuff might be announced tonight, but I really doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So,
Well, I mean,
Also-
you forgot that we're getting another Triple X movie with Vin Diesel.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't forget that.
Hooray.
I forgot Lost Wolf had a little
I do.
Disney
Oh, yes.
snippet.
Yeah, I don't really follow comics like I keep on pointing out, but I watched Zootopia earlier this year and I really liked it. And there was the surprise thing because we thought that there wouldn't be much happening in that universe until whenever the next movie came out, because it will probably happen. But it turns out that Disney runs its own comics line. This is a surprise to me. Didn't know this. But they are releasing Zootopia comics.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. I'm really
I still haven't
excited.
seen that
Now-
movie.
Now,
Oh,
here's
it's
the
great.
thing about
Super
that.
good.
It's fun.
It's very good. Now, here's the thing about that. That is a comic I will buy. I might
Yeah,
not
right
read
on.
it, but I will buy it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But there we go.
Yeah,
That's it.
Dark Horse is actually going to publish a 400 some odd page graphic novel of Overwatch about the original Overwatch team before they disbanded.
Oh, that's actually
No,
great.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
I think that'll be cool.
I am
Yeah.
really stoked about the Zootopia comics, though. I
am
totally
too.
gonna be on board with
That'll
that.
be fun.
Cody got that for me for my birthday,
Hmm.
and I think I've watched it like 3 times. My birthday was like last week.
Is Zootopia already out?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
Oh,
It's
okay.
worth watching. It's not okay. So here's the problem with
Yeah.
Zootopia.
If you want to
I'm
borrow
talking
it,
about
ask Aaron.
immediately.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
Aaron, can I borrow it?
Yeah, you can borrow it.
Cool.
I'm just gonna set you up immediately just to let you know. Zootopia is not like a Disney funny, hilarious movie. There
Yeah,
are
I know.
funny things in it, but it's mostly sort of dense and serious.
It's a
So
really,
if you-
really good bunny cop
It is.
film.
It is.
Yeah.
You turned to
It
me.
is.
She turned to me at the end of the film and said that, and I just facepalmed because it was true. But yeah,
It is.
it's basically if Riggs and Murtaugh were a fox and a bunny.
And a bunny, and then they went in a case together.
Oh, I
It's-
thought she said a bunny cop movie.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what it is.
It is. It's a buddy cop movie with a bunny as the protagonist. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's really
and
excellent.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, it's great.
Worth watching.
It's very fun.
So there you go. If you watch it, have fun.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I have for you. That was like derailed from the rest of the Comic-Con.
Yeah, that really should have gone first because Gray's been waiting through.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
Hey, we have to.
Wait. Well, I thought. It was listed between Marvel and DC on the list for a while, so I thought we were gonna go Marvel's Utopia for Gray for a little bit, and then go to the DC.
I moved it down because I knew you guys wanted to do a lot of talking.
Oh, okay.
And
I do apologize.
Oh, it's fine. There's nothing else to talk about in the gaming world, so
yeah, there's not a whole
be
lot
exciting, gaming, and be exciting. Have fun things happen soon.
That's
because Comic-Con's almost over.
Talking about things, so don't worry about it.
I mean, a bit of, but we talked about it last year.
The only thing we didn't talk about was the controversial thing with Killing Joke, but we might talk about that at a later time.
Yeah. Oh God, no!
We're going to see the Killing Joke on Monday, so.
Yep.
The three of us can do a podcast afterwards.
Talk about it after.
Probably not afterwards because I have to go to work the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's been our podcast.
That's the podcast.
Thank you for sitting with us for 2 freaking hours. I do apologize.
This is shorter than what we do if we usually just talk about gaming, so it's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Again, we are playing Ghostbusters, part of the Game Club. We will be putting out our first video of that later today or early tomorrow sometime. And next week we will continue on with that game and play the next 3 chapters if you want to play along. But until then, stay geeky, Internet.
Yeah. Do that.
Thank you so
much. Yeah.
Good night. Yeah. Good night, everybody. And
good night,
Bye, Internet.
Bye, Internet. Bye. Bye.
Perfect. They couldn't have ended it better.